Now, my generation had a different kind of education from the generation now, right? So all through the years, the quality of education has been taking a nosedive, dwindling until this point, right? I'm so concerned that my kids go to school and, you try to interact with teachers and you see teachers speaking terrible English. Some people will say the use of spoken English is not a test of true knowledge. But listen, you're a teacher. You should be an effective communicator, right?
Yeah.
If you are a teacher, that means you should be apt to teach. You should be able to teach and convey your ideas to your students. You are trying to replicate yourself in these pupils or students. Now, if you're replicating yourself wrongly, then you're a bad teacher. So you should be able to understand tenses. You should be able to understand verbs, verbiage. You should be able to understand, the grammatical functions in the English language. And so you see these teachers expressing themselves terribly, and you find the children making the same mistakes. And I'm so worried about this. And that's because the education that these teachers got is not that top-notch education that our teachers got. When we went to school, our teachers were career teachers, career educators, right? They weren't people who, okay, I got out of school, I searched for a job 2 years, I didn't find a job. Well, let me better take the teaching job that I found. No, these people, some of them had university degrees, they had their 4-year BSc, and they still had to go to teacher training colleges to acquire the skill of teaching. Many of them went to the TTCs, which is the teacher training colleges. Many of them got the NCEs, right? Because I remember our teachers those days. During the holidays, when we'll be, excited about going home, they will be going to Nsukka to go and do their NCE or to come and go and take a professional teaching course that they hadn't taken, so that they will become better educators, right? And so that's not anymore. Today, what is happening is that people who we find in the private schools and even in the public schools are people who are not career educators. These are people who just took those jobs because there's no job. Let me just take this one. Let me manage this one until I can find a better job. So there is no passion to educate. There's no passion to teach. There's no passion to convey ideas, to pupils. And that's why most of them are really very impatient with their children. You see that they did not learn the principles and the ethics of teaching. And so you see them riling up at the kids and calling the kids terrible names and actually convey. My son would tell me about one that would actually pick up a phone and start doing TikTok videos in the classroom. Yeah, and pick up a phone and start saying all sorts of funny things, right? In the classroom. And the kids are listening. At a time when you're supposed to be teaching the children, you're conversing on the phone with another adult and saying very unwholesome things in the classroom when these kids are listening. And so they pick up the traits and they bring them home, right? That's number one. I'm faulting the educators today. But now the topic is why your university or your higher institution degrees are the reason you're poor. Now I started to talk about our fathers. So our fathers had a different kind of education. And when they graduated, right, they had vehicle loans or vehicles available to them, and at least a flat, So that means that the education they got gave them a good life. Get the picture I'm trying to paint now.
Okay.
You come out from in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. You come out from school or university, the federal government is offering you a car. It's either a Peugeot or a Volkswagen, right?
Yeah.
And then a flat. It's not like it's free, but it's deducted from your salary. Some of them lived in quarters that they didn't have to pay for. And I don't even think those quarters were deducted from their salary. There's a certain level of civil service that you attain and you get those quarters, right? So their education meant they had a good life. And so in their head, I want my children to have a life as good as I had it. And what gave me that good life was my education. And so you saw our parents always saying, take your studies seriously. Take your studies seriously. Are you mechanic? You want to be a barrel pusher? Take your studies. Because in their mind, education gave them a good life. And truly, education gives anybody a good life, right? But the difference between their generation and our generation is that at that time, Nigeria did not have 200 to 300 million people. Nigeria probably had just about 80 million or 60 million people at the time, right? I don't know the number, but it's nowhere close to what we have now. And so the jobs that were available were enough for the few people who had university degrees, right? Not many people had university degrees. Remember, after independence, not a lot of people had university degrees. The people that had university degrees were much fewer than those that didn't have, right? Because actually with your school start, the school start was so good that with your school start, you can actually start a civil service job or go the business route. A lot of people after their school start went to do business. So the few people that had university degrees had jobs waiting for them, right? So that's exactly the difference between our fathers and the generation after them. And so, but because they had, beat that idea into their children's mind that, oh, this education is supposed to give you a good life, everybody started chasing university degrees. So that chase after the university degrees is the reason, really, Nigerians are very unproductive. Okay, my father said if I get a university degree, my life was going to be good. Okay, now I've gotten the university degree. What's the next thing? Start looking for work. Unfortunately, the jobs are not available. But you see, that idea that your whole future, your entire future, your entire well-being is tied to this university degree kind of puts a block on your creative mind, your creative ability. Now, you've taken all your eggs and you put it in this one basket of the university certificate. You've taken all your problems and you've built it into this certificate. This certificate is going to solve all my monetary problems now going forward from the point of my graduation to the time I build my family and beyond. This certificate is going to solve it. And so that is why you find people who have graduated from Nigerian universities the last 15 years, and they're still walking around the streets of their city looking for jobs with their certificate. They're not getting jobs, but they're still looking for jobs because they think this is all I can be. This is all I can do. This certificate is all I am equipped with to change my life. But no, you're supposed to be a thinker. Thinkers are problem solvers, right? Now, the reason I chose that subject is that a lot of you listening to me right now, you graduated 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you haven't gotten a single job, and you're still looking. Now, it's time you learn that, no, this certificate is not going to help me. Let me begin to look for problems that I can solve in my environment, immediate environment, and that's perhaps how I'm going to start making money. Now, I, for one, I'm a problem solver. When I'm driving around in the streets of Enugu, I'm going anywhere, I'm always looking for problems that could be solved, right? I'm always thinking about, okay, my clients in my area of business, how can I solve problems for them? In companies that I work with that have certain issues, they have issues of sales, they have issues of bookkeeping and all of that. How can I further solve those problems to make sure that their businesses work efficiently? Now, when I find solutions to those problems, I sell it to them and I exchange that for cash. That's what a lot of people should be doing, but no, they're not doing that because they have lost their creative ability by just acquiring a university degree. And that university degree is actually failing them. Now, the other thing I want to say is this. Imagine you went to school and you studied engineering. You studied perhaps electrical engineering, or you studied civil engineering, right? And you live in Enugu, and you look at the whole of Enugu. No construction work is going on really. The ones that are going on have a few people. A number of people have taken those jobs actually. So what you should do is leave the city of Enugu, go to a place like Lagos, where there is more construction work going on, right?
Yeah.
Or go to a place like Abuja, where a lot of infrastructure is being set up. I'm just trying to give you an example of what you can do.
Yeah.
Because the point is that you live in a particular location and you've acquired a particular certificate, through the university, right? But you find that certificate is not suitable in the city where you live. All you need to do is relocate that skill, if you actually acquired it, to a place where it's more in demand. And that translates to cash eventually, right? Now, let's say you studied automotive engineering. That is how to build cars or fix cars, right? And you live in Enugu. Now, the question should be, how many car industries do you have in Enugu? None. So why are you in the city of Enugu? You're too comfortable, right? Probably because you live in your father's house rent-free. And so you decide to stay in Enugu and you say, I'm looking for a job with my automobile engineering certificate. You're wasting your time because you will never find that job in Enugu. What you should do is move to Nnewi, for example. At least there are a few automotive or automobile industries in Nnewi. Then you can get a job there. Or move to Abuja or move to Lagos, where you have industries that build cars. So there you stand a better chance of actually getting a job. So really, when I said that, I wasn't being sarcastic. The reason your university degree is why your university degree is why you're poor. It's really clear as day, right? That a lot of you have attached all your, future earnings or your future becomings to this certificate, and it's failing you. What you have to understand is that today Nigeria has between 250 and 300 million people, right? Now, let's say that 20% of these people are university degrees, and every day we still churn out, university graduates. So it should become clear to you that in the civil service, there are no jobs available. Now, even when these jobs are available, you get them on the basis of who you know. And so if you know you don't know anybody who can do that IM for you and give you that job, then it's not for you. Now, in the private sector, it's also very saturated, right? A lot of these graduates will not take the 30,000 naira that a lot of these private sector people are paying. Sometimes, if they're merciful, they pay 50,000. And then you're saying, no, I'm a university graduate. How can I earn 50,000? What you're looking for is a job of 250,000 at least. That job is not available. And so you're willing to mortgage 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, waiting for that ideal job that will pay you 250,000. Now, if you were a thinker, if you are somebody that is able to think up ideas and solutions to problems, imagine how much money you would have made in the 5 to 10, 15 years that you've been a graduate waiting for a job. I'll give you an example. I'm somebody who I can sit down right now and think solutions. I sit down here and write proposals to companies in Europe, right?
Okay.
I'm a proposal person. This is what I've done for years, right? I sit down here and I scan the whole of Europe, the whole of Africa, the whole of Nigeria. I research a lot on the internet, right? And while I'm researching, I'm seeing companies and I'm seeing their needs, right? And I'm thinking, how can I solve these problems for these companies? And once I'm able to figure it out, you see me writing the proposal and forwarding it as an email, right? And a lot of these companies actually need these solutions. And so when they get your email, they're always excited. Oh, there's somebody offering us a solution right now, and they're willing to pay for those solutions. So that means I can live in Nigeria and earn money from a company in the US without needing to be in the US currently, right? When I used to live in Europe, I did the same thing. Now, there are chambers of commerce that I worked with in Europe, for example, in Portugal, right? And all I simply did was write them a proposal and say, hey, listen, you have a lot of companies in your organization, right? And I see that these are problems that are prevalent. Could you set up meetings for me to actually address these people? I had one in a city, Aveiro, a small town called Aveiro, and the Chamber of Commerce lined up company executives waiting for me. And so when I got to their office, they gave me a conference room, and there at the reception, you saw executives from different companies sitting down and waiting for me. And so they were coming in and meeting me one by one, and I was giving out solutions. At the end of the day, those solutions translate to money, right? I wasn't waiting for them to employ me. I could have said to the Chamber of Commerce, I'm looking for a job. Are there people that are in your association that could actually give me a job? But no, that's not my interest. My interest is to provide solutions to the people in the association so I can earn as much money as I want to earn. So it's not actually just connected to you. You don't just do that overseas in America or in Europe. You can do it in Nigeria. You can do it in Africa, right? But the question is, what skill do you possess? So you find out that a lot of graduates that we have went through the 4 years, 6 years of a university experience, but acquired zero skills, right? Because remember, their fathers told them that you need to get a degree. And so their goal was to get the certificate.
And probably one uncle also promised them that once you graduate from school, I'm going to give you a job too.
So you see, they started chasing after the certificate. And you find a lot of these people don't come to school only during exam periods. Some of them will come to school and pay for somebody to actually write the exam. I went to school here. Part of my education was here. So I know these things happen, right? So you don't take your education serious. At the end of the day, you pay somebody to take your exams for you. So that means you're really not interested. You're studying engineering, but you're really not interested in learning the skills of an engineer, right? You're studying, banking and finance or journalism. How do you call that? That's mass communication. But you're really not interested in learning the skills of a newscaster, a broadcaster, or presentation, right? All you're interested in is in passing your exam. So what you find some of them do is during exam period, they won't study, but during exam period, they'll do till daybreak, all night. They will cram everything that needs to be written tomorrow. Some of them are good crammers. Then they get to the exam hall tomorrow and, reel out everything they cram. They pass that exam, but what happens is that a few weeks later, they've forgotten everything that they crammed. Yes, they pass the exams. Yes, they graduate with a good CGPA. But yes, they have zero skills. And so that means because you have zero skills, you won't get jobs. Now, there are some jobs available. I've talked about underwater welding, for example, it's available in Port Harcourt and in the oil processing regions, right? But they don't have people studying those jobs, that have those skills. So I would say that if you graduated out of school and you studied one degree that is not that's not able to get you a job, move out, branch out, go and learn something else. Go and study underwater welding, for example. There are jobs for underwater welders in Port Harcourt, at One, at Warri, where the oil companies operate. They're looking for those kinds of people. Now, the other thing you could do, to actually change your fortunes and not depend on that university degree anymore, is for some of you to actually go and acquire tech skills. Now, I'm going to say the names of this company. They didn't pay us. Okay. But if they are listening, I'm asking you guys to come and pay us so we can promote your services. So you have an institution called NIIT. Right? Okay. And I'm glad that they came to Enugu recently. So they are somewhere at Upper Chime. It's a tech institution. Then you have AppTech at Zik Avenue, opposite to Winesett Police Station. They are another tech institution. A lot of you, I advise that you go to these two institutions and get on some of the programs that they offer. In 3 months, you can acquire a tech skill that's going to change your life forever. Now, listen, if you acquire a skill as a data analyst, you acquire video editing or multimedia or shooting, film production, right? Now, with that, you can approach any company. Let me give you another hack, right? Many of you are sitting down because you don't want to actually get out of your comfort zone, right? You see, you're looking for a job. If I were you, and I'm actually determined that how I'm going to make my living is by doing jobs for companies or for working for institutions, what I would do is, with the skills I have, I can approach any company whatsoever that I'm interested in working for and book an appointment with their CEO. Then when that date comes, I'll walk in and I'll say, sir, I've been looking for a job, but I can't get a job. This is what I can do. I'm a good video editor. I'm a good social and digital marketing expert, right? I do this very well. I can actually make your business profitable using the social and digital marketing, right? Now, I know you may not want to commit to paying me a salary, but can I work for you for free for 1 month and 1 to 2 months? All you need to do is give me transportation fare. No CEO will turn that offer. I'll tell you clearly, this is what I'm going to do for you, sir. I'm going to use digital and social media to drive leads to this business and actually convert them to customers, right? Every business is looking for that. So, but you're offering this guy this thing for free. All you're asking for is a little stipend for transportation so that you can come to work every day. It's a little sacrifice that you could make for 1 or 2 months. What you're trying to do is to prove to the CEO that you're the right man for this company, right? Yeah. And that, for you to do that, you must have that skill. Don't say, I'll come and work for you, and then you come to the office to sleep.
And you have nothing to show for it.
Nothing to show for it, then you'll be playing. So if you don't have the skill, go and acquire it first. Make sure that you've mastered that skill with which you're going to transform the fortunes of this company. Then go make them this offer. So I will work for you for 2 months. Don't pay me salary, right? Just give me a stipend for transportation for the next 2 months. Now, in the 2 months, work your magic in this establishment. Make sure that you increase the number of people walking through the doors of this company. Make sure that you bring them sales that they've never had before with the skills that you have. Trust me, if you tell that man at the end of the 2 months, Oga, I don't think I want to work here, the man will kneel down and start begging you to please stay. Not necessarily kneel down, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The man will see how important you have been to his business the last 2 months. There's no reason he won't offer you a job and give you a good salary, right? That's one way you can do it. The other way you can do it is decide to work for people on the basis of commission. Don't just wait for a salary job. Acquire a skill that will help you transform a business, right? Acquire a skill that will help you, help the government in your city, right? Then go and offer them, okay, this is what I'm going to do for your company. For every customer I bring here, pay me a commission, right? That's one way you can do it. And then you'll find out that you actually have a job that pays you much more than the salary earners. Because with the skill you have, you can actually bring this business's customers. Now, the other thing I could do if I was looking for a job is not do the probation, 2 months probation style, or offer them to pay you commission. You can actually tell them, okay, don't pay me commission, right? They can walk into any of the hotels here or any of the electronic stores in Enugu and tell them, I want to sell your goods. Don't pay me salary. All I need to do is have access to your commodities, right? I'm going to promote this business. I'm going to bring customers here to buy your goods, and I'm going to actually mark up and take the difference. So that means if I work with any of them at Ogi Road and I say I'm going to be selling you electronics, I will create a social media platform and I'll take pictures of those products that they sell, put it on my social media, and begin to promote it and actually sell them. Put my own prices. If they're selling a dispenser for 250,000, I will put it at 270. Right? Promote it on my platform. Somebody buys it at 270. I give the company 250. Deliver the goods to the customer. Take 20,000. If I get 30 customers in a month, is that not 2 times 3? Is that not how much now? That's 20 times 30 customers. That's a lot of money. That's about 600,000. Yeah, or 300,000 basically. Right? So these are ways you can actually make money. But no, you're not making money. You're depending on that certificate. You're waiting to get, a job. Those jobs are not available. Your university education, it has failed you. First of all, it wasn't quality education because the people that taught you your cake skills. If you actually was serious about learning and you actually learned, you'll find out that if you compare what you're learning in an engineering class in Nigeria here and what they're learning in an engineering class in America, you'll find that there's a great disparity between the skills you're being given and the skills they're given there. So usually, normally that education is failing you to begin with. So you must branch out and become a thinker. Think solutions. And when you find solutions, you can convert that solution to money. We don't have a lot of time, but this is why I hope that I've been able to convince you that your university degree and your dependence on that degree is why you're poor today and you don't have a job. You can do better, and hopefully we can revisit this on another day.
Yeah. So at the end, Mr. Tony is just charging all of us to be problem solvers.